As you learned in the last video, a query is a question represented in a way that the database management system understands. In this video, we'll go through the most used single table query examples. Your book talks about many more query examples and parameters, but the only ones you are required to learn about in this course are the ones in this video. When forming simple queries, use three keywords: select, from, where. Learn these three keywords as you will use them for every query you write. The select statement is always required and is used to list or reference all columns you want to display. You separate the columns by commas. The from statement is always required and is used to name the table you need to access to retrieve the items requested in the select statement. The where statement is optional, is only used when you need to specify conditions or criteria. When you have more than one criteria, use a compound condition such as and. To execute every query, you need to complete your query by adding a semicolon. This tells the computer to execute your command and ask the question about the database you have active. Before I can answer questions that ask for specific criteria, I have to first take a look at the comparison operators as you see here. I recommend you include these in your journals so you can refer to them when needed. Now let's take an example with one criteria. All examples in this video use the Alexa Mara database. The syntax for retrieving data with one criteria is as you see here. Select column name separated by commas from table name where criteria. Notice that we now have to use a where clause because we are looking for specific criteria. Let's look at an example. The last name and first name are our needed columns. The owner is the table and the criteria we need is Balton. Let's look at the query. Select last name, comma, first name from owner, where city equals Balton. On to an example with more than one criteria which requires the use of compound conditions. Compound conditions connect two or more simple conditions with and or not operators. The and operator means all simple conditions are true. The or operator means any simple condition is true. The not operator reverses the truth of the original condition. Now let's look at an example. The syntax for retrieving data with more than one criteria is select column name separated by commas from table name where criteria and criteria. Notice the use of the compound condition and. Let's apply this to a question. List the slip number for every boat with the type Dolphin 28 that is created in Marina 1. The column we need is the slip number. The criteria is the boat type of Dolphin 28 and a location of Marina 1. Our query becomes, as you see here, select slip number from Marina slip where boat type equals Dolphin 28 and Marina number equals 1. Notice the single quotes is around parameters that have the character data type to indicate a string value. The between operator is often used instead of the and operator. You can use it when searching a range of values. The syntax for the between operator is as you see here. Select column name separated by commas from table name where column name, the keyword between criteria, and then the keyword and then the criteria. Notice how the keyword between is used in the where clause. Let's apply this to a question. We want all lengths between 25 and 30. It is easier in this case to use the between operator because using the and operator would require that we search for values greater than or equal to 25 and less than or equal to 30. Let's look at the query using the between operator. Next, we will talk about computed columns. A computed column does and should not exist in the database. In a query, it is computed using data in existing columns and becomes a column in the query itself. Arithmetic operators used for compound conditions are plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, and forward slash for division. Note, computed columns are formed and executed in the select statement. It's time for an example. The syntax for a computed column is select column name separated by commas, calculation as calculation column name from table name where criteria. Notice the calculation in the select statement and the keyword as afterwards to name the new column. The new column is not named. The new column heading is the calculation written out. Let's look at an example. Labor is billed at a rate of $60 per hour. List the slip ID, category number, estimated hours, and estimated labor costs for every service request. To obtain the estimated labor costs, multiply the estimated hours by 60. Use the column name estimated costs for the new column. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can write this select statement yourself. If you got a query similar to the one listed here, you are on the right track. Now on to an operator for looking for specific information in text. The like operator is used for pattern matching in text. The percent symbol represents all data after or before the percent sign. An underscore represents any single character. You can use a space as a character to represent the word you are searching for, like the. There is a space before and after the word to indicate to look for spaces and not other letters. Let's look at an example using like. Here is the syntax. Select column name separated by commas from table name where column name, like, and then any criteria. So here is a question for us to try. List the service ID and description of all service requests whose description includes the word oil. Now, go ahead and pause the video. Did you get the query right? Did you have one similar to this? Now, let's look at an operator when you are looking for a list of things. The AND operator is useful when you want to find a list of things and you do not want to use the AND operator over and over and over and over and over again. The syntax is as you see here. Select column name separated by commas from table name where column name in and the criteria is inside parentheses separated by commas. Now here is a sample question. See if you can solve it on your own. Did you get a query similar to this one? Now on to sorting. For sorting, you use order by operator. It should be the last item in the where statement to list data in specific order. Ascending is the default sort order. You can sort data by more than one key by listing sort keys in order of importance in the order by operator separated by commas. For descending order sort, use the DESC keyword. Let's look at an example. So here's the syntax. Select column name separated by commas from table name where criteria, if there is any, order by, and then the column name separated by commas. Yes, that means that you can order by more than one column at a time. Now let's see, here's our question. List the marina number, slip number, and boat name for all boats. Sort the results by name within marina number. That means you are sorting by two different items. Let's see if you get it right. As you can see here, you have the marina number, comma, boat name as your order by, because first you need to sort for the marina number and then the boat name. Let's look at functions. There are many MySQL functions, but the ones we will use in this course are average, count, max, min, and sum. Functions are used to return a single value for desired data. To use functions, the column being used must be specified and must be numeric. Null values are ignored. Let's look at an example. Here's our syntax. Select column name separated by commas, and then your function, and then any parameters for your function or what items you're looking for, and then from table name, and then where and any criteria you have. So now let's look at a question. How many Dolphin 28 boats are stored at both marinas? Hint here, you're looking for a count. Let's see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, here's the response. Select count, and an asterisk means every row from marina slip where boat type equals Dolphin 28. Next, let's look at the operator for eliminating duplicate values. When you want to list the values in a column, but you want to eliminate duplicate values, use the distinct operator. The syntax is the same as other simple queries we have learned about so far. The only difference is to place the keyword distinct before the column you want to eliminate duplicates for. Here's an example. List the names of cities owners live in. List each city only once. Here's our query. Select distinct city from owner. Next, we will look at nesting or subqueries. Nesting or subqueries are used when the query results require 2 or more steps. For subqueries, the innermost query is executed first. Let's look at the syntax. For the syntax, notice the 2 sets of the select from where statements. The innermost statement is executed first, and then the outer statement uses that information in the inner statement for its results. Also note that the column name in the innermost statement for the select statement must match the criteria and column name in the outermost statement. I will demonstrate with a question and the query statement. Here's our question. What are the slip IDs of slips with the least expensive rental fees? See if you can figure this one out on your own. Now check your answer. As you see here. Our last operator for this week is group by. Grouping creates groups of rows that share common characteristics. Calculations in select command are performed for the entire group. Here's our syntax. Select column names separated by commas from table name where criteria, if there is any, and then you have the group by and then the column name. Having is a special keyword in place of where that gives you criteria for the group itself. Now let's look at an example. Create the total rental fees Alexa Meyer receives each year based on the length of the slip. Let's look at the solution. Select length, sum of the rental fee from marina slip. They want to group it by the length. Since it was based on the length, they wanted to group it by that. That was your clue in the question. Okay. So here is just one more thing I wanted to talk about, having versus where. Where limits the rows and having limits the groups. You can use together if the condition involves both rows and groups. Thanks for watching.